All right, with this video, we begin to look at the homework problems in Chapter 5, Section 3. So we're going to recall what we did previously. Some cases we only need to add down, and when we do, one of the variables will be eliminated, just like here. We get 3y is equal to 18, so y is equal to 6. When I substitute that 6 into the first equation, I get x plus 2 times 6 is equal to 13, or x plus 12 is 13. And what number plus 12 is 13? X is equal to 1, giving me the solution 1 comma 6. Next, I'm going to substitute both of those into the second equation. So negative 1 plus 6, does that equal 5? Negative 1 plus 6 is 5, and that does it for that equation. Next, system of equations. Again, because I have negative 5y and positive 5y, I simply need to add down. I get negative 7x is equal to 7. Divided by negative 7, I get x is equal to negative 1. I'm going to take that negative 1, plug it into the x equals negative 1, plug it into the first equation. Negative 3 times negative 1 minus 5y equals negative 7. 3 minus 5y is negative 7. When I subtract 3 on both sides, I get negative 5y is negative 10, and therefore y has to be equal to 2, giving me the solution negative 1 comma 2, but I still need to check that, so I go to the second equation, negative 4 times negative 1 plus 5 times 2, and I want to see if that gives me positive 14. Well, negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 plus 10. That is 14, and so it does check. We'll scroll down for the next two problems, and when I do, I get, this time I can again add down. When I add down, I'll get 6x is equal to 24. 6 times 4 is 24, so x is 4. Plugging that into the first equation, 5 times 4 plus 6y is 50. 20 plus 6y is 50. Subtracting 20, we get 6y is equal to 30, and so y has to be 5. I'm going to plug that in now to the second equation, plug both of those. 4 minus 6 times 5, does that give me negative 26? 4 minus 30, that is indeed negative 26, and so it checks. Now, in this next problem, I can't proceed so quickly. I first have to move things around so that I get things in columns correctly, so I can simply add down. Now, one thing that I can do, and there are a number of different ways of going about this, you notice that we have um, the second equation is okay. So if I were simply to take the first equation, negative y minus 10 equals 6x, and if I were simply to add y to the other side, I would have negative 10 equals 6x plus y, which is really the same thing as 6x plus y equals negative 10. Now, when I line those up with the second equation, the y's are the same, but they don't have the same sign. So I'm just going to multiply this first by a negative 1 so that I get negative 6x minus y is equal to positive 10. And when I do, I now have two equations. First equation, negative 6x minus y equals 10. Second equation, 5x plus y equals negative 10. When I add down, I get negative x is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0. And I just noticed I didn't put my solution. For the previous problem, that would be 4, comma 5. All right, we're going to take that x equals 0, plug it into the first equation. Negative y minus 10 is equal to 6 times 0. Negative y minus 10 is 0. Add 10. Actually, I can add y to the other side. That'll actually save me a step. Negative 10 is y. That means y is negative 10. So it appears that my solution is x is 0, y is negative 10. And now I'm going to try both of those in the second equation. 5 times 0 plus negative 10. Does that equal negative 10? Well, 0 minus 10 is negative 10, and so that checks. We'll go on to some more of these problems. All right, so here we have some more examples. These are not as simple as the previous ones, where we can't simply add down. So I'm going to multiply the first equation by negative 2, and that's going to help me to eliminate the first, rather the x's here. Multiplying, I get negative 2x minus 2y is equal to negative 4. Second equation, 2x plus 7y is equal to 9. Then 5y is equal to 5 divided by 5. Y is equal to 1. I'm going to substitute that in the first equation. X plus 1 equals 2. Well, that must mean that x is equal to 1, giving me the potential solution. X is 1, y is 1. I need to plug that into the second equation. 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 7 times 1, which is 7. 2 and 7 is 9, and so that checks. Now with number 15, I can't simply multiply one of the equations. I'm going to have to multiply the two equations, and I am going to multiply the top by I'm going to use the negative 3y. I want it to become positive, so a negative 2. I'm going to multiply the bottom by a positive 3. When I do, I get negative 8x minus or plus 6y is equal to negative 16. Negative 8x plus 3y equals negative 16. 15x minus 6y is equal to negative 33. Now, when I add down, the y's will cancel, and I get 7x is equal to negative 49. That means x is negative 7. Plugging that into the first equation, 4 times negative 7 minus 3y is 8. That's negative 28 minus 3y is 8. Add 28, and I'm going to get negative 3y is 36, so y has to be negative 12. It appears then that my answer, my solution is x is negative 7, y is negative 12, but I need to plug that into the second equation to test. 5 times negative 7, that's negative 35, minus 2 times negative 12. And that is positive 24. We want to see if that adds up to be negative 11. So we have negative 35 plus 24, and that is negative 11, and so it checks. We'll scroll down. All right, two more problems here. We can multiply in number 13 the bottom equation by 5. When we do, that will work out fine. We'll get 11x minus 20y is equal to 28. then 15x plus 20y is equal to 5 times 36, which is 180. Now when I add down, I get 26x is equal to 208. And so x is equal to 8. We plug that into the first equation. 11 times 8 minus 20y, we want that to be equal to 28. 88 minus 20y is 28. Subtracting 88 on both sides, we get negative 20y is equal to negative, sorry, that's not minus 80, it's negative 88. And when I subtract, I get negative 60. Dividing by negative 20, I get y is equal to 3. So it appears that I have the solution. X is 8, y is 3. I'm going to plug them both in to the second equation. 3 times 8 plus 4 times 3, and see if that equals 36. We have 24 plus 12, which is 36, and so it does check. Next system of equations. I can simply multiply the top by, nope, I can't. I'm going to have to multiply both equations. And the numbers, neither of the numbers are very nice. We can either use the 9 and 6, and we'll get 18. That's not too bad. So we'll make the top times 2, the bottom times negative 3. When I multiply out, I get 18x plus 4y is equal to 2 times 39, which is 78. Multiplying the bottom, negative 18x minus 39y is going to give me positive 27 there. All right, so let's see what we get. So I'm going to get a negative 35y is equal to 105, and so dividing by negative 35, I get y is equal to negative 3. Now plug that into the first equation. 9x plus 2 times negative 3 has to be 39. 9x minus 6 equals 39. When I add 6 on both sides, I get 9x is 45. So x is 5, giving me the solution. X is 5, y is negative 3. To be sure, I need to check that in the second equation. 6 times 5, which is 30, plus 13 times negative 3, which is negative 39, and that should equal negative 9. So 30 minus 39 does equal negative 9, and it checks. All right. We'll continue in the next video.